It was a sultry summer night, and I had just come home from work, exhausted from the day's demands. My husband, Aiden, was already sitting in the living room, a glass of whiskey in hand, his eyes locked on me with an intensity one hadn't seen before. There was something different about his demeanor that night, something that made the air feel thick with anticipation. As I sat down next to him, I could feel his eyes on me, studying my every move. "How was work?" he asked, his voice unusually soft, almost inviting. I shrugged, letting out a tired sigh. The usual, just long and tiring. But Aiden wasn't paying attention to my words. Instead, he placed his hand gently on my thigh. I was used to his affection, but tonight there was a different energy between us. His fingers trailed up my leg, and I turned to look at him, feeling my heart race. His eyes held a spark, a desire that felt new and exciting. "I've been thinking," he began, leaning in closer, his voice barely a whisper, "about us, about what we need." His words sent a tremor through me, and I shifted in my seat, unsure where this was going. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice trembling slightly. Aiden smiled, his hand moving higher, his breath warm against my ear. "I think we need something different. Something to bring us closer together." I swallowed hard, feeling a knot form in my stomach. "Different how?" I repeated, unsure of what he meant. He nodded, his lips brushing against my neck. "I want to see you explore new experiences. I want you to connect with other people, to feel their energy, and to experience something new, something exciting." My mind raced with a million thoughts. I had never imagined something like this, never considered that Aiden would even entertain the idea of me connecting with others in such a way. But as I looked into his eyes, I could see the excitement there, the thrill of the unknown. And strangely, a part of me felt intrigued by the idea, curious about what it would feel like to be desired by others, to share moments with them. I shifted uncomfortably, my body betraying me as a wave of heat washed over me. I don't know, Aiden," I stammered, unsure of how to respond. Aiden reached for my hand, squeezing it gently. "I know it sounds crazy, but I promise you it'll be incredible. You'll love it, and I'll be right there, supporting you. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking my video. There's nothing to be afraid of." His words washed over me, and I found myself considering the possibility. Could I really do this? Could I really explore connections with others while my husband watched? The idea felt so taboo, so wrong, but at the same time, it ignited a spark deep inside me, one that I hadn't felt in a long time. I looked into Aiden's eyes, searching for any sign of hesitation, but all I found was unwavering confidence. He wanted this. He wanted me to experience this, and the thought of pleasing him, of giving him what he wanted, sent a rush of adrenaline through me. "Okay," I whispered, barely recognizing my own voice. "I'll do it." Aiden's eyes lit up with excitement, and he leaned in to kiss me, his lips soft and warm against mine. "You won't regret this," he promised, his voice filled with anticipation. The days leading up to the night Aiden had planned were filled with a strange mix of excitement and nerves. Every time I thought about what was coming, my stomach fluttered with a mixture of anxiety and curiosity. I tried to push the thoughts away, tried to focus on my usual routine, but the anticipation was always there, lingering in the back of my mind, teasing me with the possibilities of what was to come. And then, finally, the night arrived. Aiden had arranged everything. The people he had chosen were already at the hotel when we arrived, waiting for us. As we walked into the room, my palms were sweaty with nerves, but as soon as I saw them, all three of them standing there with confident smiles on their faces, something inside me shifted. They were tall, charismatic, their presence commanding in the soft light of the room. Each one of them exuded confidence and charm, and I could feel their eyes on me, taking in every detail. Help me reach my first 1,000 subscribers. Your support is what makes this journey possible, so don't forget to subscribe. My breath caught in my throat as I stood there, suddenly feeling exposed and vulnerable but also strangely empowered. Aiden stood beside me, his hand on the small of my back, guiding me forward. "Don't be shy," he whispered in my ear, his voice laced with excitement. "This is for you. I want you to enjoy it." I glanced up at him, my heart racing, and saw the eagerness in his eyes. He wanted this. He wanted to see me connect with these individuals, and as nervous as I was, I couldn't deny that a part of me wanted it too. Slowly, I took a step forward, my body trembling with anticipation. The first person reached out their hand, brushing against my arm, sending a jolt of electricity through my body. Their touch was firm yet gentle, and I found myself leaning into them, my breath hitching as their fingers trailed up my arm. Their eyes met mine, and I could see the interest there, the raw, unfiltered curiosity that matched my own. Before I knew it, they were leaning in closer, their presence enveloping me in warmth. I could feel the energy radiating from them, and I ran my hands over their shoulders, feeling the strength beneath my fingertips. Behind me, I could sense Aiden watching, his eyes filled with encouragement. I glanced over my shoulder, catching his gaze, and the look on his face sent a rush of excitement through me. He wanted this. He wanted to see me explore new connections, and as I felt the warmth of the person in front of me, I realized I was beginning to embrace the moment. The second person stepped forward, their hands sliding around my waist as they leaned in closer, their presence wrapping around me like a comforting embrace. I could feel the warmth of their breath on my neck, and my body trembled with anticipation. My mind was spinning with the intensity of it all. I had never felt anything like this before, this overwhelming sensation of being desired, of being wanted by not just one person but three. It was intoxicating, and I could feel myself getting lost in it, my body responding to their every touch, every smile. "Do you like this?" the first person murmured, their voice thick with emotion. "Tell us how it feels." I love it," I whispered, my voice trembling with the weight of my feelings. I've never felt anything like this before. And it was true. This was unlike anything I had ever experienced. There was an intensity to it, a rawness that I hadn't known I was missing. The way they engaged with me, the way they made me feel, it was like they were unlocking something deep inside me, something vibrant and alive. The person in front of me smiled, their hands sliding up my back to gently tuck a strand of hair behind my ear as they leaned in to speak softly. "You're amazing," they said, their voice filled with warmth. "I knew this would be unforgettable, but you are more than I ever dreamed." Their words filled me with a deep sense of love and gratitude, and as I stood there, surrounded by these individuals and the man I loved, I realized something profound. This wasn't just about exploring new experiences, it was about trust, about giving myself over completely, knowing that I was cherished and adored. We had stepped into something new together, and it had only brought us closer. As the evening unfolded, I found myself laughing, sharing stories, and connecting with each of them in ways I had never anticipated. The atmosphere was charged with excitement and camaraderie, and I felt a sense of freedom that was exhilarating. Aiden remained by my side, his presence a steady source of support, and I could see the pride in his eyes as I embraced this new chapter. The night was filled with moments of joy and connection, and as I reflected on the experience, I felt a deep sense of fulfillment. It was more than I ever expected, more than I could have imagined. I had ventured into the unknown, and it had only deepened my bond with Aiden, reminding me of the love and trust we shared. As the evening continued, laughter and conversation flowed freely, creating an atmosphere of warmth and camaraderie. I found myself sharing stories, exchanging glances, and feeling a sense of connection with each of them that was both exhilarating and comforting. Aiden remained close by, his presence a steady source of support, and I could see the pride in his eyes as I embraced this new chapter. The conversations were light-hearted, filled with playful banter and shared interests. I discovered new facets of myself as I engaged with each person, their energy igniting a spark within me. It was refreshing to explore these connections, to feel the thrill of being seen and appreciated in a different light. As the night wore on, we moved to a cozy seating area, where we settled in, the atmosphere charged with excitement. Aiden sat beside me, his hand resting on my knee, a silent reminder of his unwavering support. The three individuals joined us, their laughter mingling with ours, creating a symphony of joy that filled the room. "Tell us more about yourself," one of them said, leaning in with genuine curiosity. I felt a rush of warmth at their interest, and I began to share stories from my life, my passions, and my dreams. With each word, I felt more at ease, more connected to the moment. As the conversation flowed, I noticed the way they listened intently, their eyes sparkling with interest. It was a feeling I hadn't realized I craved, the sensation of being truly heard and valued. Aiden's presence only amplified that feeling, his supportive gaze encouraging me to open up even more. "Do you have any hidden talents?" another person asked, a playful grin on their face. I laughed, feeling a sense of playfulness wash over me. "Well, I do enjoy painting," I admitted, a hint of shyness creeping into my voice. "It's something I've always loved but haven't had much time for lately." "Let's see some of your work sometime," one of them exclaimed, their enthusiasm infectious. "I'd love to see how you express yourself through art." The conversation shifted to shared interests, and I felt a sense of belonging as we discussed our favorite books, movies, and hobbies. It was refreshing to connect with others who shared similar passions, and I found myself laughing and enjoying the moment more than I had anticipated. As the night progressed, I felt a sense of liberation, a release from the constraints of everyday life. I was surrounded by people who appreciated me for who I was, and it was a beautiful feeling. Aiden's hand remained on my knee, a grounding presence that reminded me of the love we shared. Eventually, the conversation turned to dreams and aspirations, and I found myself sharing my hopes for the future. "I've always wanted to travel more," I confessed, my eyes lighting up at the thought. "To experience different cultures and meet new people." "Let's plan a trip together," one of them suggested, their excitement palpable. "There's so much to see and explore." The idea sent a thrill through me, and I could feel Aiden's hand squeeze mine gently, a silent agreement that we were both open to new adventures. The night felt like a turning point, a moment of growth and exploration that would linger in my memory long after it ended. As the evening drew to a close, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the connections we had forged. It wasn't just about the experiences we shared, it was about the trust and love that bound us together. Aiden and I had ventured into uncharted territory, and it had only strengthened our bond. As we said our goodbyes, I felt a warmth in my heart, knowing that this night had opened up new possibilities for us. I glanced at Aiden, and the look of pride and love in his eyes was everything I needed to see. We had taken a leap together, and it had brought us closer than ever.